U.S. presidents since Richard Nixon have obsessed about American dependence on foreign oil and have proven unable to do much about it. U.S. domestic oil production was on a long slope downwards, while the American thirst for crude and the size of our automobiles kept increasing. As a result, despite all the bipartisan hand-wringing about imports, the U.S. just kept getting more and more dependent on foreign oil, and especially foreign oil from the Middle East, which happens to be home to a number of countries that aren't exactly fond of us. But now, quite unexpectedly, that's changing. Thanks to a burst of new shale oil production in states like North Dakota and Texas, as well as conservation measures like increased auto fuel efficiency. Oil imports have been falling, with the country now bringing in just 20% of its energy from beyond its borders. And if the International Energy Agency's New World Energy Outlook is to be believed, the U.S. may be on its way to becoming the single biggest player in the global oil market. By around 2020, the IEA projects, the U.S. will be the world's largest global oil producer, overtaking both Russia and Saudi Arabia. U.S. oil imports will keep falling, and by around 2030 North America as a whole will become a net oil exporter. From being the world's biggest customer for oil, the U.S. could become the world's biggest salesman. That's good news for the American economy and especially its trade deficit, which would benefit significantly from wiping away the $460 billion the country spent on foreign oil last year. The burst in domestic oil will also help create well-paying jobs, especially in states like North Dakota, Wyoming and Texas, where the oil boom is centered. The continued growth of shale natural gas along with existing supplies of coal and increasing renewables like wind and solar means that the U.S. may well be able to meet nearly all of its energy needs itself. And so many domestic resources mean that electricity prices are likely to be much cheaper in the U.S. than in Europe, which will aid industry. But the one thing politicians most want is the one thing the U.S. still won't be: energy independent. More, the truth about oil. That's because no matter how much additional oil the U.S. is able to pump in the years to come, the global oil market is just that, global. Oil is the ultimate fungible commodity, able to be shipped and piped around the world. In fact, this portability is part of what makes oil so valuable. Electricity, however it's produced, can't easily be transported long distances or stored for very long. That means the price of oil is set on the global market, and government subsidies or taxes aside, consumers in oil exporting nations will pay about as much